I'm
That's how
good
you
when
start a
you
show.
are.
Yeah, this is how you
Oh, we
start a
already
show.
started?
Yeah, talking over one another. That's how you do it.
Nice.
So we
That's
just,
some like professional shit.
yeah. But yeah. So this is the show. This is it.
Yeah. What episode number is it, Dustin?
It's not the fourth. It's the fifth.
Fifth.
Uh,
All right.
the fifth.
Yeah, we're making some headway
We,
now.
we totally
You
fucked
know?
up the last one. We said it was the third, and it was the fourth, and
It was the fourth.
yeah,
Nice. Well,
it happens.
we're old.
These numbers are big. I don't know if y'all know this, but we only got the hand got to count.
Yeah,
Only
but
got
when
so
you
many
put a
fingers.
1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5 next to each other, you have what? 5-digit number. So
Well, you know what they say: one and one make two, and two and one
that's
make three.
12,345, you know?
But yeah,
That's a lot of numbers.
we I don't know what's been going on since then. We released the first episode of the table.
Yeah, where I didn't even say like the name of our website.
Yeah, so
More
the table is
professional
up.
as shit.
Yeah, we released the first episode of the Icewind Dale adventure.
Well,
That were,
it was a 0 session, to be
well, it was the
fair.
first episode
It
of the
wasn't
Icewind
the
Dale
first
adventure.
episode, but session 0.
Yeah.
So Wednesday will be session 1, but the second episode, which is confusing, I guess.
Oh no. See, this is why I told you we were gonna have titles for the episodes. It could be
Right.
session 1, but it'll be like Icewind Dale or I don't know. We'll figure out a title for it. Like
Yeah,
it'll have some.
it depends on what we do right away.
Yeah.
Because y'all can go either two different ways. I mean,
The
I'm
fappening.
assuming
Everybody's just
no, there's no,
like there's
no,
nobody's
not
not doing
that,
anything well. Like we're just
but
standing around bullshitting.
hmm yeah, that's gonna be again on Wednesday at 7 o'clock Eastern. Should be pretty fun.
Would that be aerobics check?
What?
The fappening?
An acrobatics, you mean?
Yeah. This is
Um,
see, you can
I mean,
answer these
it's
questions during the table.
it really depends. It could be a dexterity check too. I mean, it depends if you're going for
See, you
speed.
ruined it. I was
You know,
trying to give people a reason to
it
tune in.
could be Constitution as well. So, are you looking for longevity? Are you looking for speed? Or are you looking for just like strength?
Yeah, all these can be answered by tuning in
You
to
know,
the
it could
table.
be a charisma check too, for all we know. You know,
So
do you want to
we did
look
upload it to the
appealing during the
podcast
fappening?
on the RSS or the you'll see it under the same page for that podcast. You'll see the
So just
table.
skip it if you don't want.
Yeah, that's what Vern's saying. I'm saying please enjoy the show. I thought it was a lot of fun. We had kind of got everybody introduced and their characters introduced, and
Might
everybody.
have one more. We'll see.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see where Wednesdays take us. All right. I know we said we didn't have an order, but let's talk about Platinum Games.
Oh, you just want to jump right into it?
Yeah, I think we should.
You, we didn't even introduce ourselves, by the way.
I'm Dustin, and that's
And I'm
Vern.
Vern. Yeah, I think that's good enough. We like video games.
Yeah, video games, tabletop games,
We talk
bullshitting
about
about
things
video
that
games.
matter only to us.
Yeah, but no intro music, just straight game talk. Let's. Yeah, so Platinum Games is like kind of being begged to be bought out, apparently.
Yeah, yeah. So was it like about I don't know. How long ago was it? About 6 days ago for both of these articles? No, okay, yeah. Yeah. So first off, the Platinum Games CEO pretty much said he wouldn't dismiss an acquisition offer as long as their freedom is respected. And at that time, he actually called out Microsoft with the Activision deal they made. So when he was here's the quote: "The most important thing for us is to have the freedom to make the games that we want to make. What I hear what I hear about the recent acquisitions, I don't think Microsoft is going to start micromanaging Activision to where they take away all their freedom. I don't think it's going to be a relationship like that. So what he says is, okay, Microsoft bought Activision, they're not, controlling them. And then he says, we'd really be up for acquisition as long as we're not controlled. So I think he's pretty much saying, please, Microsoft, acquire us.
Yeah.
And
Wait, I
this is
still get to
not,
run my company how I want to run it, but I also get a big fucking payday for being bought out.
yeah.
Please take over. Have the reins. Figure out how to pay all these people while I just do what I want.
Well, what's interesting is like about a year ago, or maybe a little more, like right off the heels of what was it? Astral, what's the game? Astral something. Astral Chain? Astral Chain,
You
that's
can
it.
see, yeah.
That was their last like big game they released for the Switch, which was pretty well reviewed. Um, and after that, and then also announcing what was that Babylon game, Fall of Babylon, or whatever it's called, the exclusive for the PlayStation. Um, which is a games as a service type game, which doesn't look very good. But they had announced that, and then Astral Chain was doing well, and they came out and said, "Oh, we're not looking to be acquired, or anything like that. We're all about the independence and the indies and all this stuff." And then I don't know what happened, but they must be like feeling the financial hit lately or something like that, because now was about a week ago, Kamiya came out and said he would love to work on, or it was a couple weeks ago, he would love to work on Scalebound again, bring back
Yeah.
Scalebound with Microsoft. And then now we have, the head of Platinum saying that, oh, we were open to being acquired just like Activision was, and by a group like Microsoft, essentially, that's not going to try to get too much into the micromanagement. And then, like a day after that, Hideki Kamiya comes out and says that he's totally serious about resurrecting Scalebound. So, I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire, or it. So maybe those talks are happening, or maybe it's just that Platinum just really is worried about their finances. I don't know. I don't know, but we know that Microsoft, or Phil Spencer specifically, has said he is interested in acquiring a Japanese studio. And here's a Japanese studio with a long history of really good games. I mean, a lot of people love Bayonetta and Bayonetta 2. Nier Automata was fantastic. The Transformers game they made was really good too.
Yeah, it'd be a great pickup for them.
You have Vanquish, which was another hit for them. They never really had that big breakout hit that everyone bought, but they've always been well reviewed titles, and they do have a foot in the Japanese gaming industry. So I think, and then you also think, what kind of cool stuff could they make if they're not so worried about just staying afloat, which is kind of what they've been doing for the last 5 6 years. They worked on a ton of projects, a bunch of smaller projects, just to stay afloat, kind of like Ninja Theory was doing before they were acquired.
Yeah.
So maybe it'll be a similar situation. But if they have Platinum Games, they already have, was it Tango Gameworks? That'll be two Japanese studios, uh, both created by people who were legends in the Japanese gaming um, category. As what's his name? Is it Shinji Mikami, who's at Tango Gameworks? And then you got Kamiya at Platinum Games. So you got the creator of Resident Evil in one place. You got the creator of uh, Devil May Cry in the other place. So that's not stingy. That's some good Japanese game designers. So I think it'd be a great pickup. I don't know how you feel about it.
No, it makes a lot of sense for them because it gets
Are
them
you,
into that market. If like clearly into the market. I mean, they have one Japanese studio right now, but like they
yeah, and
kind of they
maybe with
need
two
that.
studios, they
Yeah,
can build them up and start to poach some talent from some of the other big
yeah, because it's
studios.
not about. I don't want to see Microsoft just go and buy like 10 fucking
Sega.
10 publishers from Japan. Like you just want to see like, oh, they made cool. They got these two kind of heavily acclaimed studios, and let them build up talent, make more teams. Like they don't need
Well,
to have They already have 32 developers. There's no reason to have 50 developers. Maybe.
I mean, if they want to really make a big move in Japan, though, if they got a Japanese publisher, it'd be smart if they grab if they somehow got a Capcom, if they somehow got a Sega, or somehow got a Square Enix. Those would be the big three.
Yeah.
Something like that, or
But I think if they have Platinum, then between Platinum and King, they kind of have the Japanese market.
enough of it.
No offense to all these other developers. Like Square's great and all that, but guess what? Japan went mobile. They don't
They did.
like
They
they're
did.
not a console oriented country. Like they prefer
Yeah.
mobile phones. So if anything, Microsoft buying, and this isn't something I want, but the strategic move, if you want to get Japan, is to buy mobile developers because that's what they care about. Like that's,
Yeah.
and I don't know enough about the mobile market in Japan to tell you
Hmm.
who to buy. Like I don't know what the popular apps in Japan are on mobile, um, but they clearly have chosen that platform.
Are you a Platinum Games fan though? I've never been much of a Platinum Games fan, honestly. The only game I've played and finished from them is actually Nier Automata.
I'm not the hugest fan of it, but I mean they're all highly rated.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah,
mean,
and maybe
talking specifically, like I'm a Capcom fanboy. If I'm gonna have to be anybody, like
yeah,
Capcom was, I love the Dead Rising stuff, and I know that was Vancouver, but like still, like that's under the Vancouver,
not the first one though,
not the
right?
first one, but like the later ones are all Vancouver, I believe.
Yeah, I
But
think
still, it's
who,
under their umbrella.
who was the
Hmm.
design lead for the original Dead Rising? Was it Mikami who did um I think it might have been Shinji Mikami, right? Oh no, no, it was Keiji Inafune. Yeah, so okay, yeah, who they actually worked with on Recore,
Yeah,
Recore, creator, the father of Mega Man. So, um, yeah, and then he left Capcom, but Dead Rising was awesome though. That's a cool game, man.
yeah,
I wish they wouldn't have released so many of those so quickly. They would have been smart to just keep it
kind of
as
span
a.
them out a little bit more.
It's such a good launch title for
Yeah,
each generation, in my
kind of like
opinion.
a card game where it's like, look what we can do. Look at the
Look how
amount of
many
zombies.
zombies are on screen. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. And I
But
wish they
even
had
that got
stuck with
played
that.
out though. Like it got played out on the Xbox
Yeah.
One because Dead Rising was it 4, like had that insane amount of zombies that you could destroy, and then they tried to repeat it on PlayStation with that other game by having the insane amount of zombies, and then what was the Left 4 Dead BS game?
I don't.
You know what
Wait,
I'm
Left 4
talking
Dead
about?
what?
The remake. It's not. I guess it's not technically a remake, but it's a
Back for Blood?
no, the other one with
Hmm,
the zombies,
don't know.
and it had like the level like essentially the zombies became water physics
Yeah, I
because
don't
it's just a quantity of zombies.
don't remember that one.
We've played it.
Can we evolve?
No, see, this is how underrated it was. But it was a games as a service game. It
What did it
was.
come out on? What console?
It came out on Xbox, PlayStation. Came out
And it was a zombie game with what in it?
World War Z, the zombie game. Yeah, that's what it
Oh,
was.
yeah, a lot of people like that one.
Yeah, it's a good game overall, but it is totally a knockoff of that Left 4 Dead, but with an insane amount of zombies.
And so the director of the original Dead Rising, he hasn't worked on a game in like 6 years. So I guess he's retired or something. That's a bummer.
But if you want to see like just a million zombies in a game, there you go. It's I
Yeah.
think it's really cheap now. Get a copy
Oh
of
yeah.
World War Z.
So yeah, I mean,
I just don't like
I'd
the
still
pay to
like
win model myself. Like I just can't.
I'd still like to see them pick up platinum, and I'd like to see them bring back Scalebound. To me, like bringing back Scalebound would be like one of those cool moves that Sony did back in the beginning of the PlayStation 4
Mm.
generation. The last generation, when they had that big show where they announced what Shenmue 3
Well,
Kickstarter.
to me, I put
Um,
and don't get me wrong, they're probably bigger, but I feel like this is the Ninja theory of pickups, like where it's man, the potential's there. If y'all had like a big budget to do something insane, and you have the
yeah, for
pedigree of
sure,
building something that's crazy if you didn't have to worry about the budget all the time.
for
That is,
sure.
to me, that's what Platinum represents. Would be that big JRPG or that
But
style
my
of game
point,
that would just kind of push their platform in a big
mhm,
way. And because they have, I think it makes sense because you got Game Pass on mobile. Mobile's their big push. You have an avenue to make that game popular, even if it's not a client. You know, if it's not on the client, if it's a stream in through Game Pass
yeah.
thing.
But my point about Scalebound, it's not even about it being a big success or anything. It's more about having I guess, having a sense of the pulse of the video game industry right now because Sony was good at that. Like they said, okay, we got Shenmue 3 Kickstarter happening right now. Oh, and now we have what was it, The Last Guardian, or was the name of it?
Oh
The
yeah.
third of the Eco trilogy. They
Mm.
showed that one at the same show, and then they closed the whole thing off with the Final Fantasy VII remake thing. So they had these three like big announcements of things that people were just waiting for the longest time, and it got a lot of buzz. And to me, even if Scalebound doesn't sell well and really people don't care about it much, just the announcement that they're bringing it back would have that same kind of appeal at least to the hardcore gamer. Um, so I think they'd be smart to do something like that. You know, like if they could do that and bring back Banjo, say like in the same show.
I mean, they'd also do
That
another Bayonetta, probably. It's
well,
super
Bayonetta is owned
successful.
by that's owned by Sega.
Yeah, but I could see them.
That's owned by Sega, and I don't know what kind of deal they have going on with Nintendo
Yeah.
because Nintendo published
Well,
two
they own
and they're
yeah.
publishing three. So there may be some kind of weird deal where they can't even bring a Bayonetta to another console for all I know.
But if
You know?
anybody was going to be able to do it, it
Oh,
would be the Nintendo Microsoft relationship of
yes,
just
yes.
going, "Hey, you know
Phil
what?
Spencer would be like,
Bayonetta
"Can we
3,
release it on Switch too?"
huh? Yeah, yeah.
They,
He would just like go straight up like, "Look, fucking, 3 months exclusive on Switch, and then we'll pop it over on Game Pass." And then,
something, yeah.
yeah, like
Yeah,
makes
you're
sense.
right. He would try to find a way to do that. He definitely would. You know. Um, but I'd like to see them work on a new IP. I just think bringing back Scalebound would be awesome. You know. But yeah. So Platinum, we'll see what happens. Um, I don't know what you want to talk about next.
I mean, I guess we should touch on. I mean, Cyberpunk 2077 had an update, the 1.5 update. Runs a
Really
whole
good
lot
update, yeah.
better. Looks a lot better. Higher resolution.
It's
It's
not just the high resolution, like the lighting looks better, the
new
textures all look
NPCs.
better. Yeah, the character models look better. Like everything just looks better. Like the HDR isn't totally fixed, but it looks way better. It's in
Yeah.
pretty good shape. Um, just a much better presentation all across the board. It's nice and smooth. I mean, and they worked a lot of the bugs out, but apparently there's a lot of bugs I haven't seen yet. So um, they changed a lot of system stuff.
Yeah.
Just like a lot of the annoying stuff that people were making fun of Cyberpunk for so long, all that's gone. If you've been waiting, play it now. I still think it's one of the best games that's released in the last 10 years, personally. I know I'm not, a lot of people don't feel that way. My wife does too. I don't know how you feel about that, Dustin.
Probably up there in the category of like Skyrim to me, where
And Mass
it's
Effect.
yeah, where it's giant universe. Like the story's awesome. The side stories are great. I'd put it up there because my take. Like I think Witcher is better than Elder Scrolls. Like I
Yeah.
think Witcher 3 is like a pinnacle game. And
Hmm.
I would put Cyberpunk below it, but it's still up there. Like it's still of that
Yeah.
caliber. Uh
Right.
But like to me, CD Projekt Red, like there were definitely fucking issues. And the reason I bring up Skyrim or Elder Scrolls first is those games are still fucking buggy as shit and broken. We have like 10
Oh,
remasters on them. Like fucking, that's just kind of part of the jank is part of the game. Like it's there. Like there was a bee that if you walked into, it would crash your game just because they made it an unmovable object. Like, yep,
right.
it's like bugs like that still happen to this day. Uh,
Hmm.
and
That's a
like,
big update
I'm not
outside all
saying
that.
where it was at launch was acceptable. I don't think it was. I don't think it should have launched on
No,
Xbox One or PS4.
no,
It
it
should have
shouldn't
never
have.
hit those consoles.
It shouldn't have. And you really see it when you look at it on the new consoles now. It's like, okay, this was a next gen game in the making, and they should have
Yeah.
just waited. But they wouldn't have made the sales they made. You
No.
know, and that's why they did it, which sucks, but it's how it is.
Yeah.
The patch wasn't just graphics. They added like a bunch of new weapons. They added additional apartments for the main character, so you can buy
Yeah.
apartments around the city. They added a hairdressing mirror, so you can change your hair in the mirror. Complete rebalance of gameplay, economy, and loot systems. They added ray tracing. Um, Personally, I don't love the ray tracing mode. Um, Fortunately, that's not on the Series S. It's only on PS5 and Series X. Uh,
Yeah,
Whole
I
bunch of
just don't
just
think it's
visual
worth it.
improvements.
Like
Yeah, it isn't.
it's for dropping your frame rate in half. It just doesn't give you enough benefit to use it. Like if
Mhm.
it was actually like full ray tracing, yes, then like if we had path ray tracing where everything, the reflections, everything were being ray traced, yeah, like it would have pumped it up to a point where you might want to sacrifice half your frame rate. But in the
Right.
game, like you can flip between the two at any moment in the game, which is really nice. And it's not, in my opinion, not worth the sacrifice. Like I don't
It
think it's
isn't.
worth it.
And also, unfortunately, the Series S didn't get a 60 frames per second mode, which
No,
supposedly CG Project Red is looking into doing a 60 frames per second mode. So hopefully that happens
yeah,
soon.
if they could drop it down to 1080p 60 on Series S, I think that'd
Yeah,
be
it's 1440p 30 right
yeah,
now. So I mean, that's you would think maybe do like a dynamic 1080p, have it
yeah,
where it can drop down to 900p or even 720p if they need to, just so there is a 60 frames per second mode. Because I think a lot of people would enjoy that in Series S's.
yeah.
Also, they improved the crowd reactions too. I don't know if you noticed, like when you're walking around in the crowds, they say a whole bunch of different stuff now. Kind of like when you're playing Grand Theft Auto, you know?
Yeah.
Not to that extent, but it's nice
Well,
that
they'll
they're adding
start
things like
shooting at
that.
you too. Like if you start
Yeah,
firing into a crowd, the crowd doesn't just run away.
they'll fire back.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And then for PlayStation 5, they included the DualSense controller
Yeah, the
features.
haptic
So,
stuff. Which
hmm
is how do you
so
feel about that? Like do you
I like it, but then I don't. I always turn it off, and the reason I turn it off is because of my thumb and finger injuries I had recently.
mhm,
So it's more of a personal decision for that. It's not because I don't like
cuz
the haptics.
not to jump ahead, I was playing Horizon
Horizon.
Forbidden West and it had it, and it's just one of those things. I feel it, then I go, "Oh yeah, this is the thing on PlayStation," and you know, it's I don't I don't know if I want to call it gimmicky,
I like it.
and
I think it's
I do. I
cool
think it's a cool feature. I don't think I would buy a game
because
on
of
that
it. Yeah.
console for that feat. Like, don't get me wrong. Like I think rumble triggers on an Xbox controller are great, and the fact I would have bought a game on Xbox over PlayStation because of rumble triggers. And now that PlayStation has had like the advanced rumble, even superior rumble over like an Xbox controller now, like
Oh, it's
I
better. Yeah.
that it definitely does make a difference. Like it's a great feature. Like I think for racing games, like feeling traction in your controller makes a lot of sense. But having
Yeah.
to pull down a trigger every time to give you the if it was for more like emotional, impactful scenes. Like, let's say, like The Walking Dead. Remember when you had to hit X to saw through
Yeah.
somebody's leg? If you had to push through the trigger every time, that it would be a mind fuck, and it would
Yeah, it'd be cool.
totally like make that experience like 5 times
And
better.
I can see that happening, like Hideo Kojima, he would totally do something crazy like that with the controller.
But it shouldn't be
Yeah.
for every single shot in a shooter. Like, I don't want to sit there and have to fight
It
through
depends
the
on the
shot.
degree of it. I mean, I think some games like let you adjust the sensitivity
Yeah,
of it, you know. So I might do that for some games, and as long as I can do it on a low sensitivity,
yeah,
because I noticed when I was playing Spider-Man with them, it legit hurt my hands
yeah.
to play it because I had a repetitive stress injury on actually both sides on the index and middle finger from just playing shooters and games that use triggers like that. Um, so I had to turn it off. And I actually have to. I go into the accessibility settings in almost every game I play, and if I have to do like a rapid button press, I always just set it to where I can just hold it because I don't get any fun out of rapidly pressing a button,
Yeah,
or
because
holding a
honestly,
trigger
it
all the
just ends
time.
up being
Yeah,
like
or holding a
you're
trigger
not
all the
doing
time.
anything
Like
fun
in
out
in
of it. Just
Spider-Man, in
yeah,
Spider-Man, you're constantly pressing that hold, over and over again,
yeah,
holding the trigger. So I just set it up to where I just click it once and then unclick it essentially to not
not
use the
swing.
web.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's so I'm not even using the triggers that much to the point where I even notice the haptic feedback. So for me personally, it's kind of useless. But if my hands didn't hurt from doing those kind of repetitive things, I'd probably use it and I'd probably like it.
Hmm.
I'd like it for a racing game. I think it'd be really cool in a racing game. You know?
All right.
So, but we can talk about Horizon.
Yeah, Horizon Forbidden West
Mm,
came out. It's a
big
gorgeous looking
sales.
game. Huge sales. It's
Yeah.
one of the, and I understand that there's a PS4 version, but it's kind of, to me, it's like the big first really big PS5 game. I mean, I know there's been other
Well,
ones, but
Ratchet and Clank.
uh, I'd say to a
That
lesser
was.
extent, I think this is way more impressive than
Uh huh.
anything like that.
Oh yeah.
It's yeah, it is their first big giant PS5 title.
Open world,
Yeah,
at least because they've had some already pretty big PS5 games. With the Spider-Man, Miles
first
Morales, which
one.
is kind of
It's
yeah.
more DLC. Like it's
Yeah, I
not
know.
there. It's not
And
like
then Demon Souls was a remake, and
yeah,
yeah, I get it.
like
I get it. Well, and
this is Sony.
Returnal, but it
Yeah,
isn't that kind of Sony big game. I know what you're talking about.
this is
Like
their
God of
big game.
War,
Like this
Last of
is it.
Us,
Yeah,
Ghost of Tsushima, those kind of games. Yeah.
this is their
But
big game, and it's
it's the
awesome.
second biggest PS5 retail launch after Spider-Man Miles Morales, so it didn't
Yeah,
sell as well. And about a third of the sales were on the PS4.
but Miles
It's
Morales
this
was cheaper, wasn't it? Just in
Yeah, it
comparison,
was. And this
like
is the
this.
second biggest launch of the year after Pokemon Legends. So that's probably a pretty good number.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, about 35.4% of the people bought it for PS4. So that goes to show you that the decision to release on PS4 was correct.
yeah,
They needed to. I mean, they got to get that money back, and it's going to come to PC a little later. Reviews seem to be good. It's currently sitting at about an 89 on OpenCritic. I don't
yeah.
really
And
talk
I
about
would say
Metacritic.
the some people they bring up they're looking at the comparisons on like a phone screen. I really think this looks drastically better on PS5 versus PS4. Like it is a PS5 title, and the PS4 version
Yeah,
is kind of a, I don't want to call it a Switch port because it's not that ugly, but it makes you glad you got the PS5 version.
do you like it so far? Because I mean, I was a big fan of the first game,
I do like
but
it
for
so far.
some reason, this game seems to be so much more of the same that I don't want to spend $70 on it.
Yeah.
I
I
want to wait.
just wait. Yeah. Like I hate to say Game Pass has affected a lot of people and in a good way where it's like, you don't need things day one.
Yeah,
You can chill and like there's something fun about being the zeitgeist of like, oh, this is what's happening. But I'm not even in it. I just wanted to play it because Jason's picking up another PS5. So we're gonna.
Right.
I know he wanted to play it, so I ended up was like, screw it, I'll pay the money for it. Bought it,
Right.
but I also bought what was it? Tales of Arise,
As
$40 because it was
Verizon,
on, yeah, for 40
it's
bucks, and I was like,
it's
man, this
really
is
good.
it's drawing me more than Horizon is right
Yeah,
now.
I got about 12 or 13 hours into it. I was having a blast, and that was around the time that my hands started hurting.
Yeah,
So I kind of stepped away from it. And you know how it is with an RPG. If you come away from it and then try to come back to it, it's hard to
hard to
get
pick
back
back up.
into it.
Yeah,
They're so story driven, and
but I was
you know
enjoying it. Like, well, I am enjoying it. I should say, not was. And that's kind of when I'm not like when I'm in
yeah,
offline mode hiding.
if you're into anime games, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
I think
ton of video, ton of CGI, ton of in game. Like
music's
it is
good.
all over the place with the different types of cutscenes they do.
Yeah,
But the story so far has been pretty good. Like it's definitely
really good. Yeah,
anime side of storytelling.
I'm a huge fan of that game.
But yeah,
I'd like
I
to see that come to
tried
Game
that.
Pass.
Yeah, be a great title for Game Pass. All right, what else did we have? Crossfire X.
Did
I
you
haven't
play it
played
yet?
it. No,
Okay, I play.
no.
You know, when it got announced, it's like, I mean, it's pretty much. It was initially like the Korean version of Counter Strike. You know, um, so it got super popular in South Korea, and then so they announced it, and they're like, "Hey, we're bringing it over to the U.S. for the first time." I was like, "Okay, that's cool. You know, and see what this is all about, considering it's so huge in another territory." I played the multiplayer. It's rough, man. It's real rough. It doesn't look great. The kind of like not mouse acceleration, but you know, control acceleration. You know, when you like hold something, it goes faster as it spins around. You
Mm,
know, that whole setting is just really off, so it's kind of feels real floaty. Um, Multiplayer was not fun, but I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna wait, see how the single player is. The single player was supposed to come out the same day on Game Pass. Didn't end up being activated. There was some kind of bug for like 3 days after launch, which was annoying. Finally got around to playing the single player because Remedy Games worked on the single player campaign. So I'm like, you know what? This is going to be good, probably, right? It's Remedy. When has Remedy made something bad? Never, at least in my opinion. Um,
how
God, it's
bad was it?
awful. It's just awful. Like the character models all look cheap, like not detailed. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like when you look at one of those old games from like 10 years ago and the bad CG,
Mm,
that's how the actual in-game character models look. They look so generic. The lighting's good, you know, and there's some good texture work here and there, but you can just tell they put a team of like 5 people from Remedy on the sucker and said, ship it, you know, get it out the door. The controls aren't good. The story is like just whatever. Who cares? I'm really disappointed by it. Um, well, anyway, the producer already came out to apologize for the state of the game. So apparently they know it's not so good too, which I think is pretty funny. They said it's clear that we have inadvertently disappointed many of our players and fans that have stuck with us for a long time. So, but dude, this game is getting slammed everywhere. I don't know what
yeah,
it's sitting at on OpenCritic. I think it's pretty bad, isn't it?
I
Didn't IGN give it like a 2 or something?
probably.
But it's kind of a bummer because like here's this game that's super popular in another territory. Finally get to play it, and it's just a mess. So, what do you feel about that? I guess you don't really care that much, Dustin.
I didn't have any hopes for this game, so it's
I
one of
wasn't
those things.
expecting it to be huge, you know.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't
Man,
know. Like I said, I had no expectations for it, so it was one of those like, oh, it's bad. Yeah, I wasn't
dude,
exactly thinking it was going to be great.
guess the Open Critic average.
10. Oh, yeah.
Oh no, come on! I'm like make a real
Oh,
guess.
like 60 years. What
Nope,
was no?
lower,
Oh,
lower,
50?
lower, lower.
35.
44. It's a
Okay.
44. Oh no, wait, that's yeah, the top critic average was a 44.
Yeah,
That is really low.
means
I
nobody
mean,
liked
what
it.
I mean, most reviewers review on like a 4 or 5 point scale in the sense that either 6 to 10, right?
Yeah,
You don't see many fours and fives, and yeah, this game was getting like twos and threes from those 10 point like review scores. So, oh man, that's a bummer. And I think Microsoft's got to be careful with those kind of games on Game Pass. If they start releasing too many of those kind of things on Game Pass, it starts to make people think, oh, well, are they just like shoveling shit onto Game Pass just to get quantity on there? Because I mean, they do have to be a little better. 'Cause I get it. I get it. Like you want to get like some cool, you want to get stuff on there, but I don't think at this kind of expense,
yeah.
personally. I
Found a
mean, the
way.
main game is free to play.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know.
But what
Crossfire
came to
X.
Game Pass was the campaign, and I was excited about that. It's Remedy, but whatever. Kind of disappointed in that. I mean, other than that, news-wise, we can talk about the apparently Phil Spencer started talking to Activision just days after all the
Yeah, I
Activision
mean, it's like,
the
hey,
scandal
your
happened.
company just exploded. You want to get
So,
bought?
so what we've learned is that Phil Spencer is a goddamn vulture.
Look, there's no coming back from this. Uh, we can help you.
Yeah, it, their entire company's blowing up. This is serious stuff that was happening. Here's Phil Spencer just rubbing his hands,
Well, you figured they were like, hey,
twirling his
let's
mustache.
buy this. Let's buy it a little bit, and like we're looking at big publishers, and it's like there's no way they weren't thinking about it beforehand. Where it was like, yeah, who
Yeah,
could we buy? Oh, this is $100 billion, and then that story broke, and it was just like, ah, that's just 69 billion. Yeah, we could do that.
it was 3 days after the big explosive report
Yeah,
from who was it, from Wall Street Journal
pretty much
about them.
as they saw stock trends go down, they went, hey, how you
Call
doing?
of Duty.
We can afford that.
Yeah, this is a pretty slow news week, honestly. Not a whole lot happened, you know?
Yeah, that's it, guys. That's it for the news. That's it. We're done. No more
That
news.
might be it for the show at this point.
Yeah. Um.
Know what else to talk about?
I mean, what have you been playing? You been playing anything off like anything in particular?
And for video game podcasts member, I probably should be, but I haven't played a whole lot of games this last week, man. I want to play some more of Lost Ark. I really do want to give that game a shot because that seems to be super
Yeah. No, you
popular and a
and
lot of people are having fun with that. My
yeah,
my wife's been loving it. And it looks really good. It does look really fun. I think what I might do is actually hook up a controller and see how it feels with a controller because one of the things keeping me away from it, I don't love the point and click combat thing like in Diablo. I like
mhm.
Diablo, but if I'm going to play Diablo, I like to play it with a controller. I like that immediate
Yeah.
gratification of controls rather than clicking and watching the character move to it. Um, so I might give
Feel
that a
more
shot
connected.
and see how it
Yeah, with the
goes.
character. Yeah.
What else did I play? I know I played something else. Oh, there's a cool game that just came out on Game Pass that I actually am enjoying a lot, and I think I might stick with it. Can't remember the name of it. I gotta look it up real quick. Kind of a goofy, hard to remember
I played
name.
Sea of Thieves for a little bit this week.
Oh yeah, what'd you
Yeah.
try?
Well, we just ended up doing like I did half of one of those new like adventure missions. And I'm
Uh-huh.
still, I don't know, I'm not sold on it. It's kind of just like, okay, I went to an island. She talked to me for a couple seconds. Now go fetch. It's like, don't get me wrong. I get games are all fetch quest at the end of the day,
They are.
but it's just not not bringing me in.
Ah, I know the name. Infernax. Infernax. if you're at all into Metroidvanias, this game is awesome. It's awesome in the same way. I don't know if any of you played if you played Shovel Knight before, but you know how Shovel Knight really felt like a good old school but modern game.
Uh-huh.
They did a good job not modernizing it, but making it feel old school, but at the same time, not like you're playing something archaic. That's what Infern X does. So if you're into like, Symphony of the Night, Metroidvania type games, this
Hmm.
does a really good job of not feeling like, I don't know, that generic indie Metroidvania thing that's been happening way too much over the last 6 years or so. This game feels special. Doesn't feel generic like those other games. It's really fun. I like it a lot. So I would definitely suggest giving that a shot on Game Pass if you're looking for a good little 2D Metroidvania type game. So I played that. Played some Madden 22. It's on Game Pass now. Well, EA Play, part of Game Pass or whatever. Um, got harassed by a child who was like 13 years old as I played. He was very sad that I was running the clock and told me I was playing really in a stupid way. I did beat him too. Well, I was gonna beat him and then he quit the game, rage quit.
Yeah.
So that was pretty fun. I like listening to kids cry on the other end when I'm playing a online game. Makes me happy. I think it goes back to playing my brother in football games when I would cry and lose. You know, so to hear another kid cry and lose, it makes me feel like it's my brother doing it when I was a kid. It
Yeah.
fuels me.
Makes you feel good. Makes you feel big.
Yeah.
I'm happy that works for you. Oh man. Use of
Yeah.
people in the show. But yeah, I played Sea of Thieves. I already talked about playing Tales of Arise. What else did I play? Oh no. I watched I binged through Disenchantment, that TV show.
Oh,
The
I
the
watched
animated show.
a big part of the first season. What season is it on now? Is it like 2 or 3
Two
seasons
There's
now?
2 seasons.
Did it end after the second season?
No,
Is it
they
the
left
idea?
there's a big open hole that they're definitely
Oh,
doing a
okay.
season 3.
I actually liked what I saw of it. It seemed like I like the art style too. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Alright,
It's like a better version of like Simpsons and Futurama, even.
yeah, it's the
Higher
same
quality.
team. Yeah, it's
But because it's in 4K,
yeah,
and it really
the
looked
art
it really looked
works.
nice. Yeah, nice and clean.
And the
Um,
Futurama Hulu show should be the same. Yeah, it's gonna be nice and clean.
Absolutely.
Well, like seasons, I want to say 4 and up are all done with high definition in mind for Futurama, so those actually hold up very well. Or they're in that kind of category. Well, the early seasons, all were designed with standard definition cable in mind. But
Easy. All right.
I think
Sorry.
I think that's gonna be it for this week. So please
How
come.
long did we even go?
We went 46 minutes. Or no, we've been live 46 minutes. The recording is at 43 minutes. Uh,
The shortest podcast we've ever
it's
had.
not, we usually go for another 30 minutes on top of this.
Yeah.
But I mean, game news isn't there, and like we said, I didn't want this to
Oh,
turn into. Oh,
if you're
what?
PC gamer, Total Warhammer 3 is
Yeah,
on Total War Warhammer 3.
I know
Yeah.
Jason and Eric were playing it. They
Yeah.
were enjoying it.
That's the one to try out, you know? Did they make any Game Pass announcements recently as far as what's coming to Game Pass before like the last time we
Oh,
with
let's see.
well,
News.xbox.com. That's where you check out Xbox news, people. Without seeing the FUD. Uh, Rainbow Six Extraction spillover.
oh yeah, yeah, we did have some new stuff coming. Okay, so yeah, Total War Warhammer 3. It's coming. What else? It just came out actually. Madden 22, which I talked about. A game called RoboQuest, Super Mega Baseball 3, and Galactic Civilizations 3. So not the not the best dump for Game Pass. I'm hoping the beginning of March is going to have a little bit better.
But you can get a Ryu character skin in Minecraft now. They're
Yeah.
really pushing Street Fighter DLC all over the
Well,
place.
that's good.
Because somebody was, I think it was Danny last night was telling us about m- they had Street Fighter Magic the Gathering cards come out. I guess
Yes.
recently. Yeah.
Yes.
So
Pretty
it
cool.
sounds like Monday they might really actually announce Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, that's the talk.
So,
Yeah, there was that rumor from Jeff Grubb that Street Fighter 6 might get an announcement on Monday. So there's some big news.
and there's a lot of
Ho-
stuff that's coming out about Street Fighter all over the place between skins and between
I
Magic the
hope
Gathering
it
cards.
comes to
I think they're.
I hope it comes to Xbox.
I'm pretty sure it will at this point. I
And then
don't
we
think they
can
would
use
have
our
done all this
fighter
stuff.
sticks.
Yes, I got 2 of them.
I know, man. I'll play it, man. I'll
Yeah,
play it.
we'll play. Play.
I love Street Fighter, man. Like Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition or Championship Edition. I don't remember what it's called. Which one is it? That lets you play as the bosses.
Um, I don't know. There's too many editions.
It was Champion Edition. That's the one that it didn't. It lets you play with more than the regular 8 fighters. You could play as Balrog and Vega and Sagat and Bison. That's like my all-time favorite game.
I just hope
Like
it
for
says Street
fighters
Fighter
back in the
6,
day.
and then there's a Game Pass logo under it. That's all I'm saying.
Just to see the people freak out.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know that would be all, dude. I would be really into that, man. I don't. Capcom's not gonna do that though.
I
I
don't
just
know.
can't.
Enough. Push enough money.
I
Yeah.
guess so. I guess so. But Sony like owns that whole fighting game market right now.
And
So
that's why you push that money.
I agree. I
Because
agree. I just don't see
honestly,
them doing
we
it.
play
That's
others. We
big
play
money.
other fighters, but other no fighter's as big as Street Fighter. Like it just isn't. Not when it comes to the zeitgeist. Like
Well,
people know
Smash
Street
Brothers,
Fighter.
but that doesn't
I would
count to
say
me.
that that's not as big. Like honestly, I don't think it's as big. I don't. If you go down on like the regular
Scales it is.
street, I think it's like Street Fighter would be the one that like
In
even
the
your
fighting
grand.
community.
No, I think anywhere.
Really? No,
Yes,
man.
I think
Smash
your
Brothers is
grandmother would know
huge
Street
now.
Fighter over. She'd be like, "Is that Mario game?" Like that's what she would think of
Oh,
that.
it's kind of
I'm
like
talking about the
calling
zeitgeist.
tissue
Like
Kleenex. You
yes, like
know,
Street Fighter is gonna like the
Street
bigger.
Fighter means fighting game.
Yes, Street Fighter
I see what
is fighting
as a
games.
name, as a
Yes,
name. Yeah, yeah, as a brand, I would agree.
Smash is not as
It's not
big as
it's
Street
not a big
Fighter
big
for
of a
the
seller
name.
though. It's not as big of a seller though. Smash
No,
Brothers is like ultimate
well, it's also
selling
because Street
fighting
Fighter
game.
Five limited itself to fucking PlayStation 5 and PC.
Yeah,
I think Street Fighter
and
6 will be on Switch. I think that shit will be on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, everything.
I
And
hope so, and I hope they nail it because
yeah,
I'm dying to play a really great Street Fighter game again. And I love that stuff, man. I'm a big fan of Street Fighter. Never a big Mortal Kombat fan. I was always a Street Fighter
yeah.
person. You know?
And I would say, Mortal Kombat's up there, but I think Street Fighter's still the biggest name in fighting games. Like people just know the name. Like
Well,
it's been
especially in
around
the fighting game community.
forever. Like
Like
it's
people don't competitively play Mortal Kombat the way
yeah,
they ever would for Street Fighter.
no.
Like
But it would be if they could get it on Game Pass, it'd be a big get. I just don't think that
I can't imagine that's gonna
like
happen, dude.
Game Pass. Day one Game Pass.
Here I am laughing, and then we're gonna, wake up
Tomorrow
tomorrow
it'll be like,
morning.
yeah, exclusive to Game Pass.
It'll be Microsoft purchases
Some
Capcom.
yeah, some stupid news. Microsoft buys
That seems the way.
Capcom.
That
Street
seems
Fighter
the
now
way to be
exclusive.
the way things are going these days.
It's a Monday. Uh,
And they'll drop it at some weird time, like
yeah.
2:52 in the afternoon.
Like, yeah, we would like to announce that. No,
Oh,
see, it'll be a Japanese announcement, so it'll be like
yeah,
2:52 in the morning.
yeah.
Like, hey, just letting you know, we're gonna acquire Capcom, but we're still releasing Street Fighter on everything.
Yeah, of course they would.
Couldn't make. Oh man, I still want my Mortal Kombat versus Killer Instinct. I think that
I know,
setup needs to
man.
happen.
they would just fit in so well together because
Yeah.
of the
Just
types
how
of
stupid they
characters that
are.
are in both games. Well, I mean, Killer Instinct was kind of Nintendo's answer to Mortal Kombat in a way.
Yeah.
You know, that's where it came from. It had the same kind of crazy characters, but decided, well, let's just make it combos, combos, combos. You know,
Yeah.
but I mean, the remake obviously was fantastic. The old Killer Instinct, it was cool at the time it came out, but when you play it now, the way you have to do all the combos is just kind of goofy. I like the kind of freestyle nature of the new version with combos. You know,
Yeah.
becomes more of a chess match. Like, you know, are they doing a counter breaker? Are they doing a counter breaker? Are they going high, medium, or low for when I have to do my break and all that stuff? It just becomes this guessing game, and you have to look at tendencies from the other player you're playing against, and it's fun. It's fun. Love it.
Right. Well, I want to invite everybody to visit us on Discord at Let's Game Already. If you go to letsgamealready.com, you can hit the Discord link, get an invite, join us, and hang out. You could also view the table, also on our podcast feed if you're watching us on Twitch or YouTube.
Icewind Dale,
Icewind Dale, yes.
frozen tundra.
But we'll be back next week to bullshit about games and talk about some news. Maybe, talk about the Capcom being bought out by Microsoft announcement. It'll be great.
News that only matters to us.
Yeah, news that matters to us. And maybe we'll have somebody else do the podcast. Who knows? I know Jason just bought a new mic, so he might actually do it now.
He wants to test it out. Yeah.
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 So, till next week, y'all take it easy. Be safe. We'll see you then.
Take care.